Makes me feel like it's raining all over the world. Yeah. Good night. Welcome to a rainy night in St. Lucia. Rainy night. And I know all of you at home cuddling up, kazot ka chauffe. You got your popcorn or your toast or your tea or your coffee, whatever you're drinking tonight. You all set for the action right here. But I'm telling you tonight, we're going to have a little extra time for you to call in since you're all at home. And I've been getting a lot of calls and a lot of people have been saying, what's going on? They want to say a little more. And things are heating up these days. We have all sorts of people coming out of the woodwork, repeating the same old nonsense. And like I say, somebody sent me a message that said, I just took a cowboy and I made it to the show in time. Special good night to all of you red caps at Huonora International Airport. The red caps over there. Somebody says I look hot. So, thank you very much. The red caps continue doing their thing on the front line. Special good night to all the police officers who have to be out, the firemen in this weather, because somebody's going to be doing something and they'll be calling for help. All the bodily correctional officers, the corrections officers, the nurses, the teachers, everybody out there. Special good night to Mongouge Choiset. I got an early message, don't you forget us tonight. So a special good night to Mongouge Choiset, Saltibus, Rivière Dorée, and of course the biggest fans of Keeping It Real, Market Street in Ansley. I don't know how you're doing in that rain, how many people are in there tonight, but I hear usually they have quite a crowd. Jacmel, Millet, Flora Villa in Canaries, Daban, Saltibus, another one threatening me. Don't forget us tonight. Well, I didn't. Cap Estate all the way in the north, Vieux-Fort, Pierrot, the original crew down there, George Cooper Road, all over St. Lucia, Labrie, Vieux-Fort, Micoud, Dennery, the Valley. People say, it sounds like California, like the wine valleys in California. The Valley, the Dennery Valley, Rich Fond. That's right, Oleon, Gadet, Grand Rivière, tout partout. Good night to all of you. Let's keep it real tonight. And of course, on Sunday in Deriso, Des Ressex as I call it, we had a lovely lady who celebrated her 100th birthday. Now that was quite an accomplishment because, it's really seen as a time when one has achieved. You've lived, you've seen so many things. And of course, I'm speaking of no other person than Philomene Louisiane. We'll have a photo of her a little later in the show. I'll pull that up towards the end so you could all see this lady who's lived through, if you want to say, lived through it all. Happy birthday again to Philomene Louisiane. 100 years ago. That would make it 1920. Can you believe the things that she's seen and heard and been through? Can you imagine life in St. Lucia in 1920? Were there any roads? Was there a road from Deriso to Castries? Was it a horse track or horse path or whatever you want to call it? I must have said you agree. Just takes you back on a rainy night like tonight, those of you who like those old movies can imagine, and those of you who grew up particularly in the countryside, see, imagine what life was like. Imagine. But anyway, of course in the diaspora, Dallas, Texas, special good night to you. LA, Los Angeles, California. Houston, Texas. That's right. Yeah, Houston, Texas. Quite a few fans out there. Special good night to you. Those of you who are still up in London, England, good night to you. Those of you throughout the region in Barbados, St. Vincent, in Jamaica, Antigua, all over the diaspora. And of course, not forgetting Toronto, Canada, and all parts in between. And on a night like tonight, just spoke to my main guy at Sky FM 93.1, Champagne, and all the fans, the original Keeping It Real crew. Special good night to you. Special good night. I see there's no clock tonight, so it means no time, right? Whenever I decide. Thanks so much. The guys are laughing in the back here. You can't get to your car anyway. It's raining too much. Folks, it's raining cats and dogs outside. But you know, let's get into the scheme of things. You know, let's warm it up a little bit. In fact, you know what? Let me just tell you, if it's still up there. Yeah. Potential tropical cyclone number 9, intermediate advisory number 2A. Let's see here. What time? At 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time today, July the 20th. Disturbance still expected to become a tropical storm later tonight or on Wednesday. Heavy rainfall and tropical storm conditions will spread across the Leeward Islands, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Summary, as of 8 p.m. tonight. Location 14.2 degrees north, 58.7 degrees west, about 340 miles or 545 kilometers southeast of the Windward Islands, of the Leeward Islands, that is. Maximum sustained winds, 40 miles per hour. Present movement is west-northwest or at 285 degrees at 25 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure is 1007 millibars or 29.74 inches of mercury. And you can see the movement. Put that back up again so the people can see. You can see that movement there. Right there, we keep it real, folks. And you see, although it's not heading directly at us, it's heading directly at us. A piece of it anyway. So we're going to be getting rain and wind throughout the night. I don't plan on sleeping here tonight, guys, so I don't know what's going on. But just so you can see what we're experiencing right now, it's like it's parked on top of us. So we're going to be getting, don't worry to bring the clock. It's okay. It's all right. So let's get into the action. You know, folks, you know, I like to keep it real right here with you. And I call it like I see it. And I present the evidence for you, as usual, to conduct your own analysis of the paralysis, whether it's statements that are made by people, whether it's documents, whatever it is. I like you to see and hear for yourself. But you know, this Alan Chasney government continues to be hounded by those who have absolutely no intention to allow him and his government to do what they were elected to do by the majority of the people of St. Lucia. And day in and day out, it's more nonsense, more ridiculous statements. And the faces and the voices have sprung up on social media. All sorts of talk shows, Johnny-come-latelys, fly-by-night talk shows are coming up. They're uninformed, or they pretend to be uninformed, because like Dr. Ernest Ile, as I've said before, it seems very clear that they have absolutely no intention to accept any explanation or any answers to the questions that they ask. And you've seen it over time. You've seen it over time. And what you've also seen is the propaganda that has failed badly, because time, as I say, is the catcher. And as time progresses with everything else in life, you eventually see what is real, what is not, and you see patterns of behavior developing before your very eyes. Oh my gosh. So another one joins the merry gang to spew more nonsense about this government, the Alan Chastney government. So another talk show sprung up last week, and the guest on that show is well known in St. Lucia, and I think needs absolutely no introduction from me. Larger than life. Don't need an introduction. Know the face, you know the voice, and you know outlandish statements and comments that have been made. I'll let you listen for yourself. Roll it.
Tout moun ka vin St. Lucie ka jwenn mizi trok la jan. Chastney point $20 million bay un homme blanc pour faire un golf course. Corona arrive, personne pa vle jouer golf, personne pa kanton en plein, mais ou ka continue golf course la. E ka kouye vin di bêtise. Monsieur pa kouye mwen di mwen magie en zo wey mwen.
That was in response to a caller. Play that again, please.
Tout moun ka vin St. Lucie ka jwenn mizi trok la jan. Chastney point $20 million bay un homme blanc pour faire un golf course. Corona arrive, personne pa vle jouer golf, personne pa kanton en plein, mais ou ka continue golf course la. E ka kouye vin di bêtise. Monsieur pa kouye mwen di mwen magie en zo wey mwen.
Catherine Sealis, in case the name somehow eludes you. Now you see, folks, the peddling of more nonsense. Chastney point $30 million ek bay un homme blanc. You hear the undertones? You hear the undertones? You hear the undertones, of course. I don't need to tell you. Figure, you've analyzed. Now, how in tarnation could Prime Minister Alan Chastney just take $30 million? And of course, in case you've been under a rock and you don't know what that's all about, a loan of 30 million EC, $10 million US, which was given to Cabot. And if you don't know about Cabot, I don't know, C-A-B-O-T, which was previously Raffles and went into financial difficulties and was bought by this new company. Well known, world leader. And the interest in Cabot has been phenomenal. But of course, piggybacking on Ernest Hillé, piggybacking on the SLP, and all the hackalacks who've been repeating. In fact, they have a list. They have a list, a laundry list of monies they say the government has given away. But of course, I've debunked absolutely all of them right here on this show. But you notice that whenever they make those statements, there is absolutely not a shred of evidence presented to support those wild alligators. That's right, I said it, those wild allegations. Bon, pour qui raison yo ka fait ça pis yo pa vle personne kwe gouvernement ka travay. Yo pa vle se moun St. Lucia, pep St. Lucia, apprécier Alan Chastney, ti chasse yo ka kouye, ka fait travail yo électé pour faire les élections te passé 6 juin 2016. Mais aussi, yo pa vle ou connaître, yo pa vle ou changer, yo pa vle parler about qui ça qui a fait. That's the past man. Forget about that. Puis, yo ped, Pis yo pate sa delivwe pou set lisi. Sa yo di yo te kay delivwe. Ek, yo hont. Mais oui, yo hont. Yo oblige hont. And of course, you don't hear the old chant anymore. You realize you don't hear it anymore? Open St. Jude's. Finish St. Jude's. Ou pa atan sa anko, pis St. Jude's ha komanse. Open OKEU. Yo pa pale. Hein? Chasne ferme jol yo. Mais OKEU ouvert. The OKEU hospital is all. How come you're not hearing open OKEU anymore? But even after OKEU had been opened, OKEU is not open. Honestly, Lay himself appeared, really? Like Scooby-Doo. Really? Like he didn't know some time ago on another talk show. On Talk, Rick Wayne, I'll say it. And I called him that night and his face turned different colors. Really? Okay, is it open? You saw that before, of course. You have that one where he's playing last week, where he's playing He Don't Understand on Timothy Polion? Ah, you're shaking your head. If you can find it. You know, he never knows. He never knows. But really doesn't understand. But all of these things are reminders, folks. It's the past of the failure of the SLP. So they don't want you to talk about that. So they have to distract you. They have to distract you. Fix St. Jude's. Well, St. Jude's ka ali. So now they can't talk about St. Jude's anymore. So they have to get another angle. Watch it well. Check the play. They have to come from another angle. Talk about the size of the building and all derogatory terms because they want to associate in your mind negative thoughts about that. Make you forget that the hospital is actually going up. Calling the hospital a monstrosity and all kind of nonsense. Well, every building that's going up is a monstrosity because they all go up the same way. Until you put in the walls, until you put in the fixtures, the furniture, the carpet, the tiles, the bathroom, the faucets, the sinks, everything. Until you do that and you paint, they all look the same. It's concrete, that's going up. There's nothing really sexy about that. But I want to remind Catherine that Alan Chasney didn't give any company $30 million. We've gone through this before, ad nauseum. The government has responded. The NIC director has responded. But you know, some people conveniently, and I leave that up to you to figure out what their motives are, conveniently pretend that they don't know what's going on, that they didn't hear, that they don't understand. But Prime Minister Alan Chasney has given a nom blanc $30 million. But I will present to you, and I have promised you, that anytime I am confronted or I am made aware of one of those ridiculous statements, ridiculous in the face of the evidence which disproves the nonsense, which disproves the propaganda, which disproves the lies, which disproves the mepui and the viepawol, I will present it to you because they are relentless, because they believe, repeat, wash, dry, repeat, over and over and over again, somehow will magically make it the truth, make it real. But it's here I keep it real. And keep it real with you. So I want to, just for the convenience of Catherine Sealis, and those of you out there who may have forgotten, and need a reminder or need to be educated or need to be informed about what the truth really is, I want to go to Section 21 from the NIC Act. Mete. Here it is, folks. Investment of surplus monies. This was the law under Emma Hippolyte. It's the law right now under Mr. Matherin and all the rest at the NIC. And it's been the law for many years. Hold it there, hold it, hold it there. The investment committee shall have the power to give general or specific directions to the board on the investment of monies in the fund which are surplus to current needs. So if the fund needs to pay certain amounts now and there's surplus money, what can they do? Because the fund, the NIC, cannot make all of its money solely relying on the contributions of members. It has to invest under Act, the law that governs how the NIC can function, can use the monies, is right there for you to see. This Section 21. The fund, the monies in the fund which are surplus to current needs, and the director shall give the investment committee any information necessary for the proper discharge of its functions. 2. Subject to any general or specific direction of cabinet, the surplus monies in the fund may be invested in any of the following ways. Scroll up for them. A, the acquisition and development of land. So the NIC can buy land and develop land, and I guess that means housing schemes, exekalte bagay kosa. B, the purchase, construction, and rental of buildings. Wow, blue coral perhaps? C, I don't know what that 5-letter word is, but maybe you can read it. What's that word in there, guys? Loans. What? Say it again. Loans. How do you pronounce that word? Loans. Dianko, Pukafrinton, loans. Esutanli. So that $30 million loan was not from Chasney. It was from the NIC making an investment. Wasn't it? Because when you give a loan, you get interest. But the loan, whether it's an investor or whatever, is an investment. Does the NIC really care? And there are guidelines on how to go about giving loans, how to secure as much as possible the loan that you've given. So, for the 30 million EC dollars or 10 million US dollar loan that the NIC has given to Cabot, that loan is secured with property at Cabot, which they have purchased, to the tune of what? 3 times the value of that loan. $90 million. So if Cabot decide today, if they gone bankrupt, if they go upside down, see your wule teta ba, see your tobe pa there, yeah. If they disappear off the face of the earth, guess what? The NIC has property valued at $90 million. You see a loss there? You see anything wrong there? I don't see what's wrong. But going further, how NIC can invest surplus monies? D, in government bonds and securities. Oh, didn't they give a bond to the government? Well, they gave a loan. But the NIC can give bonds. And how do they do that? But let's go to E first. Shares and debentures in bodies corporate. What does that mean? Investing on Wall Street. Do investments on Wall Street always come back positive for the investor? We hear about problems on Wall Street all the time. You invest money, you paid. Has the NIC lost money on Wall Street before? Well, somebody should ask Catherine. Nobody's bawling about the other forms of investment. But just because the NIC gives a loan, which is an investment, because you get back profit, interest. You understand, folks? So again, I will go over that because it's an old tactic of the SLP and those who, the detractors of the United Workers' Party and Alan Chasney. There's nothing illegal about it have nothing really to do with Alan Chasney can't give anybody a loan. But you see, the fluff and the bluff, nonsense, that's something that needs to be flushed away. Flush it. That's right. Flush it again. And just to make sure, because there's a lot of that out there. You see, folks, don't play around here. But I'll put up the list now that they have been putting out there, and I've gone from the bottom to the top. And I challenge them, always talking, always accusing, always calling people liar. Put it up for me. You've seen it on social media. Kabat, Locker, B, Tut Kalte Bagay. They have not presented 1 ounce, 1 scintilla of evidence to prove that anything wrong was done. Just Powell, Vie Powell, talk about DSH, talk about sandals. Of course, I had all of that down. You can take that down now. Sandals, this one and that one. I mean, folks, you keep hearing it. When it's knocked down, they go quiet on one of them for a while. A month, 2 months later, they come back, repackage the same nonsense. And every time they come, I'm going to debunk it. I'm going to take a break. Let you chill out a little bit. You know, get whatever you have, snack on. And we're going to come back right here. See you after the break.
Avoid the congestion and traffic associated with Castries City and Rodney Bay shopping and come to Gablewoods Mall. We have everything you'd possibly want, from a sprawling supermarket to a complete furniture store, from your choice of elegant boutiques to professional photography, dry cleaning, a hardware store, medical facilities, drugstores, hair and beauty salons, an eyewear center, and so much more. We truly do have it all, along with a food court which provides sumptuous meals and free Wi-Fi while you dine. Parking is plentiful and shopping times most convenient. Come to Gablewoods Mall. We're the mall that started it all.
The Bryce water tanks are of top quality and highly durable.
It's a monolithic tank, meaning it's just one unit, which makes it stronger than the other tanks, which comes in 2 pieces. It also carries a Hellguard lining, which is FDA approved.
Bryce and Company, build for living, build for life.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, nestled within Coco Palm, a boutique hotel in the heart of entertainment capital Rodney Bay, offers a truly unique experience with the best food, drinks, and music. Open 7 a.m. to 12 midnight daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tibanan specializes in authentic French Caribbean cuisine, delectable tropical cocktails, and the best live entertainment on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tibanan also offers catering for weddings, special occasions, and conferences. For reservations, call 456-2800 or email reservations@coco-resorts.com. Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, where passion meets quality.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro is now open for takeaway and delivery only. Place your orders by calling 456-2866 or 724-9309 or email orders@coco-resorts.com. Takeaway orders to be collected at hotel reception area and delivery fees vary on your location.
Well, you're sneaking up on me. sneaking up on me. Well, welcome back, folks. And welcome back again, the fans on Sky FM 93.1, simulcast around the island, one frequency. I got a message from someone saying, I'm having a glass of juice. What's that? Okay, having a glass of juice. I won't say what else they said. There's a lot of problems out there, you know. I'm not going to talk about those problems right now. People are tempting me. I'll give it some more time to fester, you know, some more time to mature, to, what they say, to fene. That's right, to ferment. So I want to be a little informational in this little piece here, because we've heard a lot about bananas. You had to put the clock on a side, so I gotta watch it like that, right? The old fella's trying to mess me up. The clock is like that. I want to say just a little bit about Windfresh, because there's been a lot of talk and a lot of people love to hate Windfresh and the whole banana thing for whatever reason, you know. It's a very touchy subject for some people, and bananas have been a very big part of life in St. Lucia, been a big part of the economy of St. Lucia for quite a while. But recently, the government paid out to banana farmers in St. Lucia, or through the NFTO. Some of you people need to leave me alone. And just so that you know, it's just WhatsApp messages, okay? I'm not looking at the Facebook. I can't pay attention to that. People like to mind my business. Somebody made a comment there, but you will. Don't make me check you out. But nevertheless, $2.something million was paid to the NFTO. And Windfresh is a company that was set up to market St. Lucia and Windward Island bananas in the UK. Just so you understand, because I wasn't really into it. I kept hearing those things. And I decided to just delve into it a little to understand the whole structure. My father used to work at the SLBG a long time ago in Bethlehem, and I was just around, you know, just as so many people in St. Lucia. If it doesn't really involve you directly, you don't really know the true workings of it. So I'll just give you a little thing there tonight in all the rain so that you understand. So you have your banana farmers in St. Lucia, and they need to sell their bananas in the UK. So there's a company in St. Lucia, NFTO, which purchases the bananas, or who the banana farmers in St. Lucia sell their bananas to NFTO, and NFTO sells it to Windfresh. Windfresh is the company that markets, that distributes the bananas, has a deal with big chains, supermarket chains in the UK, like Waitrose and Sainsbury. And we've heard for a while now that Windfresh has been going through financial difficulties or issues. And as a result of years of financial problems and being unable to meet its financial obligations, it has been placed in administration. And what that means is that a company or a bunch of individuals, the creditors come in and take control of the company to secure their interests. And that means, you know, you can't sell out everything and disappear. So the creditors, basically, it's almost like seizing your equipment and your facilities so that they could now sell them off or make some arrangements to get as much money as they can out of it. So the government of St. Lucia now, in seeing the situation that exists with Windfresh, and seeing the times that we are in now, COVID times, has gone ahead and paid 2-point-something million to NFTO, which will now pay the banana farmers. Government of St. Lucia did that. So you can't say that the government does not care about the workers in St. Lucia or the people in St. Lucia or les laboués or les femmes. I just thought I would give you some info. Tonight we're going to have a nice time chatting, so don't worry. Don't worry. And the earpiece is working fine. I hope it stays working. Yeah, okay. You know, I saw that caller in his old beat-up truck. I know he's home watching me. Keep it real, Doc. You know who you are. He called last week. He said, you're pretending that you couldn't hear me. Come on, man. I don't need to pretend I ain't hearing you. I gave you all the leeway in the world to speak last week. And you know me, if you're talking nonsense, I hang up on you. Plain and simple. So, don't try to accuse me of not pretending I couldn't hear you. Those guys in there could hear me. I think they sabotaged me, tried to sabotage me. That's what's going on. Make me look bad. But anyway, stay home, folks. Let the rain fall, chauffer, make some cocoa tea. It's too late. I don't think is it too late for cocoa tea and bakes now, guys? It's not too late. The guys say it's not too late. So you have my permission to make some bakes or floats or whatever you want to call them. But there's a lot of talk about the government. I just want to, reason with you tonight. The numbers are there. And I looked at the performance of the economy under the previous administration. And I hope you take my word for it, because I have put those numbers up before. During the previous administration, between 2012 to 2016, cumulatively, because there were 1 year minus 2%, 1 year zero growth, 1 year minus 0.1. And the best that they did, I think, was 1% at some year, one of those years. Put them all together, adding the minuses and the plus, over their term of office, the economy grew by about 1%. Challenge me on it. And so far, folks, this administration under Alan Chastney has grown collectively all the years from 2016 to 2020, 2019, 9-point-something%. But you see, that's why they don't want to talk about the past. And that's why today's show is labeled Actions Speak Louder Than Words. And the numbers speak louder than the propaganda. Like somebody says, kakaganda. The numbers for this government speak volumes. Because we came from record unemployment. We came from a point in our existence as a nation, one of the worst road systems ever, disrepair. Which reminds me, sometimes people say things to you, and you know very well that it was not an original idea, that they're repeating some nonsense that they're hearing from someone else. And a few days ago, I had the opportunity to speak with a friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to in a while. And after we had discussed the reason for his phone call. He said to me, but tell me something, man, Nobby. I said, yeah, man, anything, talk to me. He said, but why does the government have to do all of this work on the roads? They have to put in new roads, take out the old stuff. Why can't the government, listen to this, folks, listen to what these guys are peddling, and some people are glog, glog, glog. They're swallowing that nonsense. Yoka vale betisla. And he's saying to me, why doesn't the government patch some of those roads instead of fixing them completely, resurfacing them, patch the roads and give the money that's left over to the people? You had a Logix. You had a Freenest stock. I'm not going to tell you where it comes from. I'm sure you know where it's coming from. So, là où fini là now, c'est bon là a spend tout là, yo a mangé tout l'argent. Chimé a patch encore. Spring motocar, shock motocar ka croisé. Ou ka fait accident sous chimé, puis on y pour get away ça en tout partout. Right? We have roads that will have to be fixed next year again. Puis c'est tous les l'année, chimé ni pour manger comment? Yo ni pour patch. Because look, it rains. This is the climate that we live in. This is what happens here. So patch the roads again. And we're in the same situation next year. We have no proper roads. We're left with the same situation. C'est bouk sa te quitté nous et puis avant. And we still have the loan to pay. We have nothing. The money gone. Then they will come with something else. I mean, come on. Last insulté intelligence. Saint Lucien alors. Then they will tell you the airport terminal Huanora, because you know what it is. You know what it is. They cannot fight the airport anymore because it's happening. So you have to come from another angle. Ou block your on your two. Lot side la. So they have to come with another angle. So now they can say, don't go ahead with the airport because it's going ahead. Now the argument is, well, why the terminal have to be so big? It's too big. Make it half the size. Cut a third of it. Make it smaller. But you know what's coming next, of course. When you make it smaller, the money you get, give it to the people. Why kuma? Or why St. Jude's have to be so big? N'importe bail gouvernement fait, yon y a l'autre bail, wap, à sous side là. C'est bouglan toi ve, messieurs. It doesn't matter what is done by this government. But the moment you debunk the ludicrous statements, the moment you dismiss with the evidence the nonsensical statements, they will come with a different angle. Changez là. So you can't stop the airport anymore. The terminal's too big. You can't stop the work on the roads anymore. Patch it instead. And give the money to the people. You see the thinking? So you can never do anything right. So now the argument will be too much money spending on roads. Just like, well, the government came to Parliament to get loans from a consortium of banks in St. Lucia and elsewhere. The loan is going through, so now what's the opposition argument? There won't be enough money for St. Lucians to borrow. You see the foolishness? Zot ka fe Fiji me fe men mal. Pa fi mal, mal. But St. Lucia, like I said, actions speak louder than words. The actions of the opposition when in office showed or produced results. The results, St. Jude's was not finished, couldn't open. OKEU could not open. The roads could not be fixed. Unemployment could not be reduced. The airport terminal could not begin. VAT Antwe en Leno. Say that again. All sorts of problems. Why? That is the question, we must ask ourselves. Why? Was it maladministration, mismanagement, inability to manage? I'm not going to do like people and baselessly say, corruption! But when I say corruption, you bet your bottom dollar I'll produce the evidence. All the talk about corruption, they haven't shown any. The word or the expression that came into St. Lucia's vocabulary in a special kind of way. You remember what that was? Cost overruns. You hear that associated with anything this government is doing right now? No. You hear it associated with the roads or any works? No. But going back again, VAT, they don't want to talk about that. 66% increase in water rates, they don't want to talk about that. Desilting levy, they don't want to talk about that. Unemployment cut Tremoon, they don't want to talk. That's the past, man, that's the past. Don't talk about that. They couldn't get loans. Why?
But something happened. Something happened that made the situation different. And it is the first time St. Lucia has experienced this. This time around, we could not borrow to finance the deficit. That is the crux of last year, and this is where the crux of the problem is. We wanted to issue bonds of $266.5 million. But we actually were able to raise only $45.5 million.
That's a significant difference.
In other words, we were not able to raise $221 million. Likewise, we wanted to raise short-term loans of $38.9 million, but we were only able to raise $29.3 million. Again, a shortfall of $9.6 million. So what has happened here is that we cannot turn to borrowing to fix up our deficit because banks, individuals, and institutions who used to lend before are no longer lending governments. They're insisting that they will lend you if you get your financial house in order. And in our case, getting our financial house in order means that we have to bring down our fiscal deficit from where it is at 5.8% below 4%. That's the key.
You waiting for me to say something? I didn't say anything. You heard, you saw. Who said it? Banks and other lending institutions said before they would lend to us, we have to get our financial house in order. Where was the financial guru, Philip J. Pierre? Where was he? Who has all the advice to give Alan Chastney now? Who has all the advice to give this government now? Who has all the stimulus package to give if he was there? What if he was there? $250 million. Where it coming from? You have all the brain box ideas to give now. But where were those ideas then? Me can you take a hele? Can't dismay we madly? Where was the stimulus for you to give? Where was that $250 million you pull out of thin air? Because you still haven't said where you would get it from. Where? Kote. So that's what they don't want you to go back in the past for, because that is what will haunt them and continues to haunt them. Mismanagement. But hold on now, hold it there. So if Kenny Anthony and his trusty financial guru, Philip J. Pierre, could not fix it then to get loans, you heard how much they couldn't raise. Because Philip J. Pierre, the $250 million man now, back then was what? $5 could block a hole. You see what the $5 was doing, of course. $5 could block a hole, but he couldn't block that hole. You get it. Downplay everything. $5 could block a hole. That is the level of the economics and the fiscal management that Philip J. Pierre had back then. $5 could block a hole. That was a big hole, you know. Millions, tens of millions. But all of a sudden now, the financial guru could magically pump $250 million as a stimulus. But whoa, where did we hear that before? Inject immediately $100 million into the economy. Côté. Depuis jour ça la côté. As far as I'm concerned, these guys owe the people of St. Lucia $100 million. Côté. Oh, St. Lucia is bad and this, that thing's rough now because of COVID. You know it's because of that. Don't pretend you know it's because of COVID. And you know what? It's not only St. Lucia, the US, you see it on the news. Jamaica, Trinidad, Canada, the UK, Spain, Italy, Australia, South Africa, Egypt. Where? Anyway, name some place. Whole la terre. So we can just erase all of that. Oh, where do you go? As if they're reveling, they're enjoying it. What you doing now? What you doing, Chasney? Comme si they ni Chasney, you sav? But everybody else balling for that. So what we have to look at is the IMF report. They're talking about the IMF report now. But that IMF report and those other financial reports say almost the same thing for every country in the world on this side of Corona. So it's not any mismanagement. It's not any inability to get loans. It's not because of not having a financial house in order. Because even in all of this, or even last year, St. Lucia could get loans. So what does that mean? My goodness, what does that mean? What does it mean, Philip J. Pierre? It means that this government has gotten more confidence from banks and other lending institutions. That's logical. Wouldn't you say so? It's logical because Dr. Kenny Anthony himself said that the banks and lending institutions were saying that they would not lend him because his financial house was not in order. St. Lucia's under his management and yours. Ou deputy prime minister, ek yon jou, a kay konsit la, a house la, ou mande speaker pour doubout session pour aller la kay ou ebe en office ou, pour hen let la Kenny ekwi ou, pour di ou se deputy. A deputy essential, esoni sa. Deputy. But the deputy now is the one coming with all the brain box ideas. The same washed up ideas that didn't work before, you know. I mean, let's keep it here. Keep it here. Keep it here. You think anybody in their right mind would take any advice from Philip J. Pierre, Kenny Anthony, or the opposition right now? They said so many things about Chasney and the government. The worst prepared. Tout kalte bagay about gouvernement. Huh? And you know what? Every prediction that they have made has failed to materialize. Worst prepared, St. Lucia turns out to be among the best in the world, top 5, best in the region. And they will begrudgingly say that, honestly again, I'll say, it's not so bad. Well, they were not prepared then, but they got their act together. Just cannot accept that. Oh my gosh! My goodness! And all the talk about Chasne pa ici, Chasne pa là. What's in the pipeline? What was in the pipeline back then is what's coming through now for the airport, for the roads, for the hospital, for everything else, for the water project in Grace, which is going to increase from 1.5 million gallons a day for the south to 4.5 million gallons of water per day. Now, why is this being done? Why? Because the south is rising. And if you have to have more hotels, if you have to have more businesses, if people are going to be moving back to Vieux Fort and the south, you're going to need more water, won't you? But you have to put these things in place in advance, in anticipation of the development. So if in 1998 Dr. Kenny Anthony could say in that speech at the opening of the mall or whatever down there, that Vieux Fort will be the new frontier. Well, why didn't you do those things? Why? 1998. Why didn't you do those things? Huh? When you have more water, you have more facilities, you have development in the area, what happens to the people in Vieux Fort? Huh? What do you think is going to happen to property values down there? Land will become what? More expensive. The owners of land can make more money. In Deriso, in Pierrot, look at the roads going into those areas there. Once you have infrastructure, the value of property increases. But the new frontier, Vieux Fort, the new frontier. And even now, you see what's happening in the south? You see the flights that were coming in before COVID? The airport was bursting at the seams. Why do you think people were coming to St. Lucia? And why would it have been okay to continue with all of that influx of the tourism dollar and all go up north? Why not develop the south? Why did you all not develop the south? Why did the people of Vieux Fort South remain loyal and vote you in, and vote you in, and vote you in? Oh yeah, huh? Why? Did you believe that they're so gullible? Why the people of Castries East? Sempre they comment, même say, the deputy essential. And the boss, according to somebody, choke him, ek choke him. Those of you who know that old story. Choke him, ek choke him. Or maybe you can liken it to guys who just there BSing. Cocky and stocky. Those of you who remember. Cocky and stocky. Pale, highfalutin, fancy talk. Not delivering. Where's the new frontier in the south? You know, there's this expression that man who says something could not be done or could not do it should not interrupt man who's actually doing it. You couldn't develop the south. You couldn't make it the new frontier. Mais chasse n'est entré à présent. Il a fait tout ça ni pour faire. Bah, il a marché vieux fort. You see the place down there last holiday season, Christmas, New Year's? Bah, il a pété en bas là. Traffic jam. But now you're out of office. You want to dictate. I mean, does this make any sense to you people? You have to be honest. I don't care who you support. Who support supporter Chasne, who support Kenny, n'importe mon ouvrier, who supporter Pierre, n'importe. Pas important. You don't need to answer to anybody or say anything. Just to yourself. You know, just examine. Conduct your own analysis of the paralysis. Because Vieux-Fort was in a paralyzed state. Vieux-Fort est en Malkadi, en Bakeni. Wasn't going nowhere, was just la. So now something happening. You have all the bright ideas. No, don't do it like that. But you couldn't do it. Why couldn't you do it? Why? That is the question I am asking tonight. And I would like you to ask. Why could the SLP not develop the South? Why could not the SLP make Vieux-Fort, as Dr. Kenny Anthony had said, the new frontier? Think about that question. When we come back from the break, folks, opening up the lines to you on this rainy night in Lucia. See you after the break.
Avoid the congestion and traffic associated with Castries City and Rodney Bay shopping and come to Gablewoods Mall. We have everything you'd possibly want, from a sprawling supermarket to a complete furniture store, from your choice of elegant boutiques to professional photography, dry cleaning, a hardware store, medical facilities, drugstores, hair and beauty salons, an eyewear center, and so much more. We truly do have it all, along with a food court which provides sumptuous meals and free Wi-Fi while you dine. Parking is plentiful and shopping times most convenient. Come to Gablewoods Mall. We're the mall that started it all.
The Bryce water tanks are of top quality and highly durable.
It's a monolithic tank, meaning it's just one unit, which makes it stronger than the other tanks, which comes in two pieces. It also carries a Hellguard lining, which is FDA approved.
Bryce and Company, build for living, build for life.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, nestled within Coco Palm, a boutique hotel in the heart of entertainment capital Rodney Bay, offers a truly unique experience with the best food, drinks, and music. Open 7 a.m. to 12 midnight daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Tibanan specializes in authentic French Caribbean cuisine, delectable tropical cocktails, and the best live entertainment on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tibanan also offers catering for weddings, special occasions, and conferences. For reservations, call 456-2800 or email reservations@coco-resorts.com. Tibanan Caribbean Bistro and Bar, where passion meets quality.
Tibanan Caribbean Bistro is now open for takeaway and delivery only. Place your orders by calling 456-2866 or 724-9309 or email orders@coco-resorts.com. Takeaway orders to be collected at hotel reception area and delivery fees vary on your location.
Well, the messages on WhatsApp were coming in a flurry. Thought I was in a boxing ring there and people had lots to say. Put the number up for them, 450-0777. And let's stick to the discussion at hand tonight. We're not going to do like last week where I gave somebody special leave to talk and then again said some nonsense. But Just let that go. Sometimes you just got to let them go, wear themselves out, you know. You know, somebody said to me that they're just ashamed, the opposition. And they're doing this to cover up their shame because all the predictions of doom and gloom have not materialized. They have not come to fruition. And Alan Chasney just keeps on going like the Energizer Bunny. He keeps rolling and delivering. And I remember him saying, and of course the opposition and the hackalacks and the satellites remember as well, but they'll pretend, as usual, that they didn't hear, that Prime Minister Alan Chasney said it would take about 3 years to start turning things around. We have a call. Good night on a rainy night in St. Lucia. Let's keep it real. Caller, you gotta turn down your radio or your... You gotta turn down your TV, caller. You gotta listen to the phone. You gotta turn down your device, caller. Wait, Anwale.
That's where we are from Silly Sala. Chasne de pou mene l'audience.
Qui laisse
Puis
là?
vous devez chasne côté bay moun sa. Côté bay moun sa la 30 million dollars.
No, no. Well, caller, Chasne pa yon bete koyek sa. Puis sa e betis ki ale la.
Pas son gon. I ka di moun. Pas di bêtises excès, li ka pale bêtises.
Well, sa ou kay fe?
Ouais.
Sa ou kay fe? Ki man ya bay la ye ko wiye a Saint Lucie apwe sa? Est la pli ka tobe an le kayo?
Oui, on chay.
An chay la pli?
Oui.
Ou an di dan es ou fe biks?
Oui, moi fermé.
Ou fermé, an di dan apwe sa? Ok, good.
Oui.
Sa ou vle di la ankon? About
Non,
situation?
mwen va di yon kon. Mwen revye kou yo apwe.
Okay, great. Thank you for calling. Thanks for keeping it real. You know, folks, somebody says, chagrin pouvoir. That for some reason, when the SLP gets into opposition, they just cannot accept that the people of St. Lucia have dismissed them, have fired them. And these same people will vote for them, and they did the right thing. But when they vote them out, they did the wrong thing. So, you know, we know what that is already. We know that this is chagrin pouvoir. And it's not going to change the price of coffee. You can say what you want. You can make up all the stories that you want. The people of St. Lucia are not blind. They're not stupid. They're not ignorant. You know, so doing all of this really doesn't accomplish anything, and it only makes you look silly. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hello, good night.
Good night to you. Thanks for calling.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm out of the rain. I don't know what it's going to look like when I get outside.
And today's my birthday.
Today's your birthday? Well,
yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Keep
you
it
very
real.
much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. So let's go now. What do you have for me?
Nothing. I didn't have nothing to. In fact, I had my cousin of mine that buried today. I was down in Beaufort.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hope you
Let me
work
tell
through
you.
that. Tell me.
I don't worry about these fellas, these opposition fellas, because they're hungry for power, and that's what they have.
Chagrin pouvoir, that's what it is.
That's what they have, chagrin pouvoir. So they will find everything to say.
Well,
When
that's
they're
what we've been
inside,
seeing.
is
That's what
another
we've been
story.
seeing.
It's another story then. When they're outside, it's another story. So I don't even worry about what they say. What they say, all people have something saying, Sakila Puyo la via Pasha.
That's right. That's correct.
So I even worry about what they say.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Let them run the talks.
Well, you know how it is. Thank you so much for
and
calling.
have a safe night. So let them win with you.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, take care. Thanks for
All right,
keeping it
take care,
real.
bye.
And happy
All
birthday.
right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
You know, that's the kind, all kinds of callers to keeping it real. You know, it's rainy night, you know, stay in. Don't get in trouble. 450-0777. That's right, 3 sevens. You have another one? Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Good night, keeping it real.
Yes, let's keep it real. Go ahead.
Yes. I find for Kathleen Seeley, for a woman, she has no class. Kathleen's on TV as if she was in the forest and she had not seen people for years. The woman is stretching out her neck and the way she would speak, she should really take a look at herself. Replay that for her and ask her to take a look at herself. She has no class whatsoever. No class for a woman. That's what I have to say to her.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is somebody who deals with agencies, international agencies and organizations and stuff like that. And that type of attitude is not conducive to what you proclaiming to do. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Listen, I wanted to let people know, I'm sure that they don't know about this, but there are many big countries like the United States or France that have a system similar to the NIC, but they call it Social Security or whatever.
That's right. That's right.
But both France and the United States have a very poor system because neither of their systems allow for investments of surplus funds. In other words, in both France and in the U.S., what they take in this year from people's paychecks is used to pay out to people receiving pensions within the same year. In other words, they do not invest.
Well, caller, you do know that there are other schemes as well, like retirement funds and 401ks and that sort of thing.
Yes, but we're talking about a government fund.
Right.
This is not, the government does not, and they have even borrowed against that and never paid it back in the United States.
Well, you see, the thing is in the U.S., caller, the U.S. can print money, we can't. So we have to be very prudent.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's so great to see a country do what St. Lucia is doing. You have done the smart thing. They are taking that money and investing it to bring in returns and interest on it. Why somebody would not want that to be happening is beyond me. And they obviously don't know that eventually what's going to happen when the baby boomers, that's a big problem in the U.S. When the baby boomers come out, there's going to be more retirees than there are people working. So how are they going to pay these retirements?
That's right. That's right.
So anyway.
Bang on, caller.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you very much for calling. That's keeping it real. I recognize the voice as having called 1 or 2 times before, and always bang on the money. And I'll say so if I disagree with you. And he said the gospel truth. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hi. Hi, Norbert, how are you doing?
Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
I missed the very first clip you showed, Norbert.
Yes.
I want to know what the caller said that got the host so mad.
Well, the host is not mad. The host is just keeping it real and exposing the BS, you know, the 3 Bs principle. Bullshit baffles brains. That's what so many of these people subscribe to, because they believe that if they keep repeating the same nonsense, if they keep feeding the people of St. Lucia the same old Kool-Aid, that they're going to believe what is being rammed down.
I know, but the caller must have said something to her.
Well, it's the caller apparently said something positive. So that is not fitting the script. So you have to get something to say negative.
Okay, I thought I'd missed something. Okay, all right.
That's it? Okay, that's it for that one. You know, it boggles the mind that there is so much information available out there, and you know, people call it fact-checking, and some people have been online for so long, and they will gullibly just swallow anything. And I mean, after you've gotten lies told to you, after you've heard the propaganda, and you've seen that it's not true, you need to be a little more skeptical. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good night. How are you?
I'm good. How are you in this rainy weather?
Oh, fine. Nice. Very good.
Great.
Yes, you're doing a great job.
Thank
Flower
you.
all the way.
Thank
You
you.
don't
Let's
do
keep it
that.
real.
We there. We staying in our party.
Yeah.
And it's good you educating Catherine, man. That girl is the worst uneducated jackass I ever come across.
Oh, let's not say that here now, caller.
Okay, man. I'm listening to you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that you're paying attention to the information. You know, you don't have to agree if you disagree, but let's be respectful, let's be sensible, let's be St. Lucians.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we all have to live here together.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
You have a good night.
Every night, yeah, if I don't hear you, I get in calls. Listen to Keep It Real.
Well, that's good.
A lot of people listening to you, but they just don't like to call shows.
That's good.
All overseas, they're listening to you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, bye.
Have a good night. Take care. Well, you know, the reach of Keeping It Real is far and wide. You know, we have another call. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. How are you?
Yeah. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let's go ahead.
I find you look disgusting. You're a womanizer. I hope
What do you want? What am I missing? What did you want?
I hope you're ready to pack up and leave.
Leave to go where?
Disgusting, man.
Oh, good night. Have a good night. Don't waste people's time. Stay on chauffeur somewhere. You need some, I don't know, something's not right on your end. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real. Good night. You're on the air.
Hey, but good evening.
Yes,
sir.
good evening.
How are you? Good show.
I'm
Good show as
doing
usual.
good. Thank you.
Before I go further, I see your drone was flying over my house, so I know you have pictures of St. Jude.
Talk to me.
I heard the independent senator talking about here in the international airport redevelopment.
Say that again, caller. I'm not hearing you.
The independent senator, Ms. Thomas.
Right.
I heard she talking about the redevelopment phase of the new terminal. Why can't they do it by phases? How ridiculous does that sound?
I don't know what phases you want. Of course, there are phases. There's the pile phase. There's the foundation phase. There's the outer wall phase. There's the.
So you're gonna pile and leave it there until you get some more money or something. The more tourists.
So tell me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but tell me, what's the phases? What's that supposed to accomplish? That you could give some of the money away?
Well, most probably she's leaning to that too.
But I think the professionals who are going to be constructing the airport know exactly what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. Now, you heard them talking about the loan, 40 years. And they say, why would you take so much money? But nobody's saying that we have a moratorium of 10 years.
10 years, exactly. Give you a chance to get on your feet.
And
the interest rate is extremely
and then,
low.
Who knows, between that time, when things pick up, we could pay off, almost finish paying that loan before that.
That's right, caller. No, but you know what the talk is? That, your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will be paying that.
But of course my children can pay for it.
Of course they'll be paying loans.
But I'm paying for theirs, the ones they took.
You're paying for those that were taken before, exactly?
Exactly. So what's wrong with my child paying for a loan to download and he has a beautiful terminal?
As if that was never the case anyway.
Exactly. No, but and then but I may just switch.
Switch.
Because
Where you switching to?
Because I might go and join PIP because I earn $1,500 a month if you come in.
Well, let me tell you something. No. Hold on. Don't go over there. Don't go over there. He was offering $1,500. Some time ago, I offered my own stimulus package, 50 tau.
50.
So you better come over on my side. So you see how ridiculous it is, how anybody could open their mouth and just say nonsense?
Yeah, but I have a new name for them. I'm not, but
what's that?
From when they get in there, everything will be free, so they are the SL free.
SL free.
Yeah.
That's
everything
a good one.
Everything will be free when people take over, so no longer SLP. SL
But you know, that's a good point you raise, you know. Almost everything that has to be done, they want to offer it as if it's free. Everything, free. So where's the money coming from?
He alone knows, brother. You know, so...
Thank you so much,
have
caller.
a good night, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Take care out there, bro. Lightning is...
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh.
Yes. Down in Beaufort. It's
you're
terrible.
in down south. Oh, it's raining down there too?
Yes.
Okay.
Thunder and lightning, my brother.
Wow.
So be safe out there, my bro.
You too. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
So, over there, you know what? The caller before who talked that nonsense. We have a lot of water, a lot of rain. Flush that caller. Flush her. That's right. Waste of space. Waste of time. You waste your money. Or whoever paid. Whoever put that credit on your phone for you to call and talk that wasting people's time. Big people talking. One slip. Big people talking olaka pale betis. But anyway, we have a call. Good night. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
We have a call. Good night. Good night. You're on the air.
Good night.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good night. You're on the air. Good night. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, I'm calling from the south.
From the south. What's happening in your neck of the woods down there?
From the south. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Well, lots of rain.
Yeah?
Rain.
Rain and more rain. Well, that's good. Makes you sleep better.
Okay. Well, on a serious note.
Yes.
I'm happy that you mentioned what the Prime Minister is doing in the South.
Yeah. And there's more to come.
Yes.
There's more to come.
And that's what Dr. Kenny did not do.
That's the facts. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to
now,
realize that.
Now he has realized that he failed the South miserably.
That's right. He's trying to get it
so
back.
So now he's trying to come up with all sorts of stories.
Yeah, that's
right. No, he cannot get it back. He cannot get it back because imagine Beaufort North.
Yeah.
I live in Beaufort North, and the people of Beaufort North have been voting SLP from the time the devil was a little boy. You understand?
Yeah.
Never switch over to UWP. And what have they done in Beaufort North?
I don't know.
Yes. I want them to call out 3 main projects that they have done in Beaufort North.
Tell me.
Yeah.
What has been done in Beaufort
The
North?
only thing they have done in Beaufort North is that school in Vigie.
Vigie.
It's the primary school in Vigie.
Yeah, Vigie.
He never fixed the road in Vigie, Kako. Never.
Well, I guess you know what you're talking about because that's your area.
When he came there, yes. When they asked the parliamentary rep, why didn't he fix the road? And he's coming back this time to ask people to vote for him. Right? He said that they took the money and they gave it to the guy to run against Chasney in Deriso.
Yeah. Well, you know, caller, maybe that's why, or one of the reasons why they don't want to talk about the past, because it's going to expose too many things.
Yes, but this time he'll see that the road is being fixed. It will be fixed.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening in the south. Thank you very much, caller.
Yes. Right, and keep on making the party look good, because we are working in the south. The government is working in the south, and there is much more to be done.
There is much.
And you see, we are proactive. The thing about it is, I'm happy you mentioned that water project in Grace.
Yeah.
Now the people of Grace need to open their eyes.
Yeah.
They have had the people of Beaufort North. They have been pressing their knees on the necks of the people of Beaufort North. And it's them, we're telling them to allow us to breathe.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, caller. Yes. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good caller. Keep it real. Keeping it real. You know, on Thursday, there's another Wasco project opening in Dennery North, I believe, in Grand Riviere or somewhere in Dennery. I'll tell you in a bit. Good night. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hello. Good night, Mr. Norbert.
Good night to you.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to be on your show.
Well, thank you very much for calling.
Yes. I must let the people know that the airport must go by international standard.
Yeah.
When you go overseas, you see all the changes because I do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yes. So they must accept what is going on. And those people who are opposing, they know very well.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
They just want to give Mr. Shastri headaches and find faults with everything.
But caller, when you build an airport or when you build a terminal, you're not building it for 5 years. You're building it for 20, 30 or more years into the future. Because if you build something for 5 years, the airport, everybody knows, was bursting at the seams already. For years, it was inadequate to deal with the number of passengers coming in. And the projections on what tourism is going to become requires an airport facility that will last well into the future. So where are we going to get the money in the next 5 years? You're getting the money now, take it now, do it. You gotta listen to your phone, caller. Hello? Oh, she disappeared? Okay, so thank you very much. Good night, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, what I'm saying.
Yes.
For all the years, the Shastri particular, I have to say Shastri, have been in government. They want to create special program to highlight 16 road. Do I vote for government for just 16 road only? What's about development in the country? Listen to me. St. Lucia is not a political thing. Right now it's a personal thing. Right? And to be honest, election will say it all. It's on election day, then we'll see who's going to be in government and who want to make it personal. That's my take for now. But I have more to talk about, you know. But let's talk. You see, from there, I just want to talk just briefly on certain things. You're going to tell me you're creating program on Hot 7. So Hot 7 now, I have my business to advertise. I won't advertise on Hot 7 because it's a political station. I tell you that boldface. So Patrick Smith losing business because of that.
All right, caller. All right, caller. Thank you very much. We have, I have that, people call it their motives. You know, you have to expect these things sometimes. People want to malign people or try to say things that, you know, flush that guy for me, please. Flush him again. Big people talking. You come in and talk nonsense, man. Let's all lay us rest. It's 10 o'clock already. You should be sleeping. Wasting people time. Okay, so Thursday, July the 30th, the official handover ceremony of the Dennery North Water Project will be at the churchyard at Larissus in Dennery, 2:30 p.m. If you're down there, you can have a look at what's going on, what this government is doing, and what is happening for the people in Dennery, in the Dennery Valley, the Mabuya Valley. So, looks like that's it for tonight, but can't be without what I promised you, but I'm gonna give you a little twist. St. Jude's Hospital, a new twist tonight. we're going to go back in time a little bit so you can see where we started with St. Jude, going ahead to where we are today. Let's start. There we are, folks. Before anything happened, the plans, the discussions on the site. Next one. Prime Minister Alan Chasney and the construction crew and Taiwanese officials, the Taiwanese ambassador. That's just on the road looking over the spot where the new St. Jude's is going up. Right there, that's what it looked like October, end of October last year, November. Look at that, folks. That's where it came from. Look at that. That huge field, that area. Nothing much, just the pillars beginning to take shape. Let's go to the next one. There it starts taking shape, folks. There it starts taking shape. And next one, and that's the angle that you've seen so many of these photos from. And there's another one. There you go, folks, from the air. It let you see everything from all angles, you know. All angles. There's that new building, 2 stories. And you see right there, hold it right there, hold it right there. Go back to that one. You see at the back there, you see the main entrance closer to you in the foreground. In the back, you see this little construction, on, like a little hut at the end of the building. That is where, just to the right of that, is where the helicopter pad will be located. There you are, right there. To the right of that little hut there, that's going to be the elevator shaft, or where they come off the helicopter and the stretcher goes into, then it goes down. So that there, folks, is where the helicopter pad will be located at the new St. Jude's. Good night to those of you in the south. I know you're excited by this. And you can see that same location from just a different angle ahead from the drone. And there you go. That's it right there. That, you know, that's why they pay you all that big money in there, you know, big bucks in there. That there, folks, just to the right there, there you are, there you are. That is where the helicopter pad will be. The air ambulance, that's where it's going to be landing. And you go into that building with the stretcher and down to the operating room or wherever you need to go into that hospital there. Showing you the progress from the beginning to today. Let's see. There we go. We have a fly through. Drone ka volé en bas tout sav. Au piquant. Good night to you. Special good night to you. There you go, folks. You can see it. Give you all the angles. Don't say. Keep it real with you so you can see everything. There you go. Nou ka jik ale passe tout partout en les airs, en bas, parmi, both side là, tout partout. There you go, folks. There you go. You see that's 1 floor down below, 1 floor, 2nd floor. I want you to see everything, folks. That's no Mickey Mouse thing going on there. No Mickey Mouse. On a rainy night in St. Lucia, letting you sit back or lay back and relax so you can see exactly what's being done in the south. There you go. See that? There you go, folks. Taking shape. Next week, I'll have some more photos of you. There have been some new developments on site, some more completion. So you will get, by next week, some updated photos and video. What's that? The Empire State Building? What building is that there? Say, Bouglan Les Z. Hey. The new St. Jude's. That's it, folks. On a rainy night, as I'm saying, all of you, Opicon, Jetwin, Canaries, Ancillary, Market Street in Ancillary, Grosley, Richford, Dennery, Oleon, Miku, Deriso, all over, Viewfort, La Pole, everywhere. Special good night and thank you for tuning in once again, taking your time out to be here with me. I really appreciate it. Another episode of Keeping It Real. Actions speak louder than words. Thank you again for joining me. See you next week for another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm Norbert Williams. Good night.
The opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Hot 7 TV is the rising star